to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Maxi, before we start, mate, you couldn't flip it that way, could you?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's better. No, that's it. I'll do my intro again. I'll start again. That's better for YouTube that way. Yeah. Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm here with the top 10 Ring Magazine fighter, Maxi Hughes himself. Maxi, happy New Year, mate.
Happy New Year, pal. Buzzing. Top 10, mate. Top 10.
Let's talk about it, because I seen your little thing on Instagram. You were talking over a Mike Tyson quote, I believe it was, and you were ranked number 10 in the Ring Magazine. I mean, there's worse ways to start your 2023, isn't there?
Yeah, I didn't even know what it was. I woke up yesterday or the day before. I woke up, and my mate woke up to a message from my mate saying, I've just seen you're in top 10 with Ring Magazine, and I thought, no, it's not right that light, but checked it's right there, black and white on a few websites. So yeah, it's and apparently I've been on there about 2 weeks. So yeah, I thought I'd get a phone call from Ring Magazine saying, welcome to the club.
Yeah, nothing like that. Yeah, didn't get a T-shirt or nothing.
But yeah, it's great to wake up to, and like you say, a great way to start the year, definitely.
I mean, you're becoming I remember about 2 years ago, I was talking to you about Instagram, and you're like, I don't know how to use it, but you've mastered it now. You're an Instagram guru.
With a lot of help from my wife, I must admit. Yeah, but yeah, it's, you know what though, I do find it hard sometimes. Like say, you've got to be constantly on it, constantly active, thinking of content and creating content, and I think it's hard. This it's hard, but I suppose that's the way especially the boxing world goes now. It's about self-promotion and building a brand, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, that's exactly what boxing is now. It's about building that brand, and you see fighters that can talk, and they got the gift of the gab, and they talk crap, and they're funny. They seem to be and they get the fights that they want, because boxing is a business as well as a sport, as you well know.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I need to go and watch some Club Along tonight, and start talking a bit more trash.
Well, yeah, listen.
Maybe that's what's going to secure me the big fights.
Well, listen, if you get that American dream, you'll need to get that American accent and some American slang down to a T. So, stay on that Ring Magazine top 10. Now, going back to maybe the Liam Walsh fight in 2019, you were done with boxing. I remember you saying you felt like you could retire now. You couldn't see any your career going any further. If I'm right in saying that. Now, the fights that you've had in 2019, 2020. 20, 21 and 22. Now you're top 10 in the Ring Magazine. I mean, what an absolutely crazy 2-3 years has been for you since that Liam Walsh fight.
Yeah, when I'd got over that loss and decided I was going to carry on, it's just been a great turnaround, and things have just clicked. And it's like all the experience that I'd gained over the last 10 years, it all just started to work for me, and I was able to use it, and just something clicked, and I started using it to be better. Didn't let them losses bother me. I learned from them and took forward. And I think it were horrible at the time to lose, but all the times that I've lost, I'm glad I did, because I learned. I have learned from it, and I've gained from it and took that forward. And it's not only that. You look at the losses that I have had. Every single one of the guys who've beaten me has been a British champion, at their minimum. Martin Ward was Commonwealth and European champion, fought in a world title eliminator. Liam Walsh himself fought, an elite fighter in Gervonta Davis. And I think Liam's unlucky, obviously, the time that he was mandatory for the IBF. If it had been anybody else, I believe that he will have been IBF world champion. But, unfortunately, he came up against an elite Javonte Davis.
Mm.
But yeah, I've only, I never disgraced myself in those losses. They're always pretty, really competitive, close losses, and I've made them work for me. And especially over this last 2.5 years, I've used it to better myself in my career. And we're in this position now. IBO champion, number 9 with the IBF, number 13 with WBC, and number 10 in Ring Magazine rankings. It's quite a phenomenal turnaround, really, and it shows resilience, doesn't it? And resilience, not giving up, and continuing to pursue your dreams.
You said something clicked. Can you put your finger on what it was? What it was?
I think it was a mixture of everything, and as well, a lot of credit goes to Sean O'Hagan. He's found a way of bringing the best out of me. I was always really, really good in gym and sparring. I just seem to have trouble taking it from the gym and sparring into fight night, and I think it's been a mix of everything that has clicked. Obviously, working with Sean, who was able to bring the best out of me and transfer it from the gym to fight night. Experience has probably played a big part in that. I'm now 33 fights. So age, maturity, and people say you're coming to your peak in your 30s. So I can't put it down to one thing in particular. I think it's just been a mix of all sorts that's all gelled together and able to put these performances together.
Like I said it's been a phenomenal run of fights since that Liam Walsh, man. I can remember the John O'Carroll fight when we were coming out of lockdown and stuff like that. No crowd, no nothing, great victory there. Then you went on to beat Kochkov. Then it was Highland, Straffon, Ryan Walsh, Kid Galahad. Some run you're on now. You seem to be the fighters. You're coming up a level. You keep fighting the guys at the top of the game now. Yeah. IBO World Champion. You mentioned how you're top 10 in the IBF, I think you said, and Ring Magazine. You look at the guys ahead of you. They should be. Are they the guys you're gunning down for? But maybe not so much the Devin Haney's, Lomachenkos, because I think they might be fighting. But the guys ahead of you, like Cepeda, Martin, Tank Davis. Do you know what I mean? Ryan Garcia fight. If they two don't get it on, Isaac Cruz. These guys are ahead of you in the rankings. And they're quality fighters. Are these the guys, these are the names that you're hoping for in 2023?
Yeah, anyone who's above me. A guy who is one place above me in IBF, Giovanni Caballeri, something like that. He's undefeated American, trains with Freddie Roach. He's undefeated. He's ranked number 8 with the IBF. We've almost got that match made, me and him. Over at Christmas period, I was actually up at your way. I was at Loch Lomond.
What's you would have drove past my house in.
We stayed at Cameron House just before Christmas.
Lovely.
And I'd had 3 pints, three pints of 10 men. So I took to Instagram and seeing that the Giovanni Caballeri was on Instagram, and obviously he was a place above me. And what I have noticed, the number 2 spot is vacant with the IBF, which I think they keep vacant for mandatories. So I just messaged him, after them 3 pints, said, what about me and you in an eliminator for IBF for that number 2 spot? So, when I'd done some research and talking to people, it looks like Haney might fight Loma, which I think that's agreed. And I do fancy Haney to win that. And, he's looking at vacating the belts and maybe moving up. So obviously thinking quite a bit ahead, thinking Haney vacates. I've won an IBF eliminator, number 2 spot. Number 1 gets ordered to fight number 2 for the vacant IBF. I'd fight that Gustavo Lemos, who beat Lee Selby, who's number 1. And then I win the IBF world title at end of the year. Just a little thought I had going on. So, I took that into my own hands, messaged Giovanni, and he's well up for it. He put it all over his socials. I think his team have even reached out to Eddie and Matchroom I don't know what's going on at the minute. I ain't heard no since, but it's still a fight that I'm very keen for. He's keen for. His team are keen for. So I'll again try and push that and try and get that as an eliminator for IBF and get that number 2 spot.
I mean, you've not picked. When you're planning ahead, there you're talking about Giovanni and Lemos. I mean, you've not picked easy fights there because they're both undefeated.
No.
They've never lost,
Yeah.
and they're quality operators. So, I mean, 2023, even though it's going to be, you've had a good year, 2023, the big names ahead of you, the names ahead of you, are probably your most dangerous names to date. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And, I understand. I know the boxing, I know the business, and it's at this level, at world level, there is no easy fights, is there? So I'm prepared for that. And I've looked at Giovanni, who's one place ahead of me at IBF. I've watched him, done a bit of studying on him, and I back myself. I believe in myself. I believe I can beat him and get that. So and not only that, I want to test myself. I want the best fights out there. So when I do get another world title, I can say, I'd never had an easy run at it. I had hard fights, so I've proved myself, and I've earned the rewards that come with it. So that's what I want. That's what I'm in boxing for. So hopefully, fights like that can be made.
You said there. I mean, it's like you said. Devin Haney moves up after the Loma fight. All them belts become scattered. They're vacant. But I want to go back to what you said. You said that you think that Haney beats Lomachenko. Why?
Yeah. Purely on size. When Loma fought Ortiz last year, obviously Devin got in the ring, didn't he? And you could see the size difference. Even Loma himself said it, didn't he? I think he's something like, says you're a heavyweight, this guy. And I think it's quite apparent especially the last time Haney fought Kambosos. He looked absolutely awful at the weight, didn't he? He looked like a skeleton. He didn't look good at all. And this is a young kid. He's just turned 24, hasn't he? So I think his days at lightweight are numbered. He's young enough, so he shouldn't be killing himself to make the weight. He's obviously, his body's naturally growing. His Bigfoot weight anyway. So why deplete himself when he don't have to? When he's obviously a quality operator. He can. I believe the size and the youth of Haney will beat Loma. And then he'll probably move. He's obviously naturally filling out. So he spoke about it himself before, which I've heard. So I can't see him hanging around. But yeah, I do fancy him to beat Loma just on size and seeing how he was able to nullify Kambosos with pretty simple tactics: jab, move, jab, hold, jab, 1-2. He kept it very basic, but he did the basics very well, and he did what he needed to do to win. And I feel he would do the same with Loma.
I just want to put something to you. When Usyk beat Chisora, everyone thought he was too small for heavyweight and blah 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 blah. When he came up against Anthony Joshua, he had some say a poor performance against Chisora, and then came in and gave the first fight against Joshua, who's a bigger man, heavier man, and he put on a display like that. Now, obviously, you go to the Ortiz fight against Lomachenko. That performance, you might think that Haney's got him on that side, and plus he's bigger, going on Lomachenko. But I mean, Comey was bigger. Do you know what I mean? Solido was better. So it's a tough one to think. I think Lomachenko.
It is, yeah. I'm not, I'm not writing Loma off. So you can almost take that performance with a pinch of salt against Ortiz because he'd obviously been involved in a war, helping out in the war efforts against Russia. So, there's a lot there for him to have to go through to be able to fight. So, you can't read too much in the performance. I just believe on current form, like I expected, especially in the second fight, Kambosos to really cause Devin, some problems. But, he showed, he stepped up again a level and just sort of made it look, not totally easy, but, it's, what I'm trying to say? Like, it's he kept it simple and, he sort of cruised through it. And, got the win easy there. So, it like showed another level that, he can step up, he can nullify. And I just feel like that's what he would do against Loma, because he's as well with the younger, but as well, you can never write Loma off. I think it'll be probably a more difficult fight than George because of Loma's feet, his angles, and just his all-round boxing IQ. But yeah, be a top fight. But I do fancy Haney to come through that one.
Did you watch Gervonta Davis last night, or did you catch up with it this morning against Hector Garcia?
Yeah, I can't get up at night, me. I'm no good at setting alarms. But yeah, cool. I haven't been able to watch the full fight, but I've read the reports and on how the fight went and seen some highlights. And yeah, it's strange. I think one thing that it's like they've revealed the judges' scorecards, haven't they? And a lot of people said that they were wrong. Did you watch it?
I didn't see that. No.
People, I think, on the scorecards at the time of the stoppage, Davis were 4 or 5 rounds ahead. But a lot of people saying no, the fight was a lot closer. On the scorecard, should have been on the scorecards than what it was. And obviously, ultimately the scorecards don't matter because he forced him to retire on his stool. But Gervonta is a class act, isn't he? And he's very, how's the word? Very calculating in his performances. He doesn't seem to be doing a lot, but you make one mistake, like Rowley did. Make one mistake and it can make you pay and you can end the fight. That's the kind of fighter that he is. But yeah, he's I'm trying to think who I would put at the top of the lightweight division. Haney, obviously, because he's a champion, but undisputed champion, but also tank for how he can end fights with one punch.
It's that top 5 though, Maxi, with Haney, Davis, Lomachenko, Garcia, Isaac Cruz is good. Cambosis is a great fighter.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely,
Frank Martin's up there as well. I mean, that whole lightweight division, it's a scary division to be in right now.
It is.
I'd rather not. As a fighter, you'd probably like it because there's big fights and big names out there for you, but it's a scary division, man.
Yeah, and I've always found that since being a schoolboy in championships. I've always boxed it this way, even as as an amateur boxer. As a teenager, I was this weight, between lightweight and light welterweight, 10 stone. There were some kids, like the lighter kids, who would turn up at championships in the first round in your local area, and the lighter kids would be like, "Oh, there's nobody here in your weight. You've got to buy to semi-finals or even final." And then when I'd weigh in, I remember I think about 18, Yorkshire area, we turned up, and because it's like an average weight, a popular average weight, there were 6 lads all registered. So we had 2 weeks to fight it all out. So I had to, they just stopped doing the boxing twice in one day then. So I had to box 3 times, until next round. But I come out of that, but I'd had 3 busy fights, whereas the kid who I boxed, who was it now? It was I forget his bloody name. Josh McLaren from Midlands, who were pro. I ended up having him. I come through that fight, but I'd had 3 pretty tough fights, and then boxing in quarterfinals, and it's like all because it's in a popular weight. So
it's an average man. It's an average man's weight.
Yeah.
That lightweight, super lightweight, welterweight is an average sort of size man, isn't it?
That's why the divisions are just so hard to get to the top. So, when like the position I'm in now, I'm very proud just of what I've achieved right up to this point, because I know how hard, just winning that British title, how hard it is because of how stacked the division is. So just up to now, I'm very proud. So after this year, if I continue to progress, it's all credit. Like, even if Haney moves up, the division's still red hot. It's still stacked because like you say, Frank Martin's just had that good win against Michael Riviera. So again, he's looking like he's another red hot guy. So maybe one goes out, another one pops in. So it's one of the divisions what's always going to be hot.
Listen, Maxi, it's after watching you against John O'Carroll, and then I was at the Kochkov fight, I was at the Highland fight, I wasn't at the Stratham fight, Walsh fight, and then obviously the Kid Galahad fight there, man. It's been an absolutely meteoric rise from that Liam Walsh fight, and it's good to see that you're getting what you deserve because you slugged it out. You were always in the way corner. You're always traveling, and it's good to see you reaping the benefits of your hard work. 2023, mate. If you keep doing what you're doing, man, them names we've been talking about this whole interview are right there in the palm of your hand, and it's going to be an exciting time. So
imagine this conversation in a year's time, and I might have the IBF title around me as well.
Oh, mate, you still have time for me. You'll be too big time for me.
No, I'm always humble, mate. Always humble. Well, if I know you're that close to Lomond, I said we'd go back there to a while. So we'll have to come up. Maybe we'll have a game of table tennis.
Oh, mate, don't even start me. I'll beat your table tennis, mate. Listen, if you ever come up to Loch Lomond, man, let me know. I'll bring the jet skis. We'll bring a couple of jet skis.
Oh yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah,
let me know, and we'll sort something out. But Maxi, listen, I hope 2023 you get a fight soon. When you do get a fight announced and it's all up on Instagram, fight posters and whatnot, we'll get another chat and we'll talk about it. But listen, Maxi, thank you so much for taking time out your Sunday afternoon, and hopefully this year is just as good as 22, 21 and 20, mate.
Hopefully, mate. Yeah, good to speak to you, Andy.
You too, Maxi. Speak to you soon, brother.
Yeah, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.